So Sam, both of you, so, going into last Friday's game, I know that your mindset is that you can beat anybody, doesn't matter who it is. But did you expect to blow them out like that?
Definitely not. I mean, we obviously wanted to go in there with a win, and then we came out and we were able to get the early jump on them. But then you always have in the back of your mind, like, oh, they can always come back. They can always come back. And then they're really good in the second half, third quarter. They always do really well, especially against us last time. So I mean, that's always in the back of my mind, like, they can come back, they can come back. And then we just kept scoring and scoring and scoring. And I was like, I had to keep looking at the score, like, is this real? And then we were able to play some of our bench players early in the fourth quarter, so it was just really nice to see that.
Yeah, we knew like UCLA is a really good team, so we knew we can beat them. But we were like, yeah, we need to keep pushing because they can come back.
How much better do you think you can get? I know that Coach Adia coaches you like last year to peak towards the end of the season, and this was the first glimpse into you sort of putting together a real full game with everybody pretty much healthy and everything. And how much better do you think you guys can get?
I think we need to work on some things like boxing out and keep playing like aggressive defense the whole game. But if we are able to put like 40 minutes of good basketball together, I feel like we can beat everybody.
What's going to be the biggest challenge this weekend, both with Washington and Washington State?
Well, both teams are playing really well. Oregon just went across the country to play UConn and did really well against them. Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, that was I mean, good for the Pac-12, but now we have to go play them. So, I mean, definitely trying to focus on doing things differently from what we did last time to try and get the win there. And then, obviously, we're playing on the road, too. Oregon and Oregon State both get a lot of fans, so it's just going to have to be focused on us.
Adia was saying you guys kind of have nothing to lose when you go into that. How does that change how you play?
It takes the pressure off tremendously. It feels really nice to know that, like, the whole world doesn't expect us to win, except for obviously our Tucson community. And of course us too. Like, we expect to win. We expect to go into every game with the win. But it's nice that the outside pressure is not on us. We can go in there, and if we lose, okay, like, it stinks, but we were supposed to lose. We'll go back to the drawing board, get better. And if we win, then it's great for us. We could possibly move up in the rankings and help us.
And how does playing in front of big crowds here prepare you for what you're going to see in Oregon?
Yeah, I mean, even whether the crowd's cheering for you or against you, when there's over 10,000 people in the stadium, I mean, you notice it, and it's different from when there's 500, 1,000. So it really just helps us to prepare for that atmosphere. And, I mean, the noise always, if they're against us, Ari loves that. She thrives off of that. So we're excited for that and see her out there.
How confident are you just because of how close you played both those teams when they were here?
Yeah, definitely. It was nice to know that the progression that we're making, we were close to them this past time, so now hopefully this time we can pull off a win.
What do you guys think about being in the top 16?
I think it's amazing. I think it's a reward for everything we have been through because we know what struggle is, and I think we have been working really hard this season. So I think it's good for us.
For both of you, I mean, you guys were both part of the team that won 6 games. So
That's the struggle I was talking about.
feel to go from that to where you are right now?
It's amazing to see the growth that's happened. I mean, winning games, our fans coming, it's just an amazing experience, and I'm so lucky to be a part of it.
So you guys have, obviously, Dominique is pretty much back to full strength. She helped you, especially in this last game against SC, but she's been steadily progressing since she's come back. What are you seeing from her that's a little different than how she played before?
I think she's more aggressive now on offense because she usually wants to make the right pass, like run the play. But I think now she's looking more like for her shot, which is like really good because she can definitely score.
And do you see it as, it looks like she's even in better shape, and that her conditioning is a little bit better. Do you see that, or?
Yeah, definitely. We've been working on, she's obviously a 4, but we're also trying to get her to be able to guard the 3s too, possibly. So working on her footwork, the speed, quick first steps. So just kind of preparing her if we need her to play the 3, guard a 3. If we want to play bigger, we'll have that option.
And you're probably helping her with that because you can play every position on the court.
Of course, I'm throwing her a few tips.
Today is National Girl and Women in Sports Day. So for both of you, how special, or what does it mean to you when you know, you go after and you sign autographs, or the little girls and boys come up to you and want to take photos with you, and what does that all mean to you?
I mean, it feels great because I think people need to understand that women's basketball, for example, is as exciting as men's basketball, or even like it can be fun to come to a game. So we have no problem signing autographs after. I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
You've got to make it a point to be a role model for some of the younger girls that are growing up.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially in the Tucson community, we have a bunch of little girls telling us that they play at the local middle school, high school, elementary school, and that they look up to us. They love coming to our games. They bring their teams to the games. So it's really just nice to know that we can inspire them and really help them push them towards their goal.
You had like a memorable conversation with a little kid that stands out.
This whole team brought or this one girl brought her whole team to the game, and it was kind of the first time that like people have actually like came up and like really had like a full conversation about how like I'm their inspiration, and they really look up to me. They say like I'm their favorite player. They ask me to sign like everything, their phone cases, their jerseys, and I've just never like signed anything like that, and I've never like it felt really genuine when she was talking to me, so that was nice.
Because you're now a junior, I mean, do you kind of relish it a little bit more than maybe you would have as a freshman or sophomore, knowing that you don't have much time to be in the position that you're in?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as a freshman, I was young, 18 years old. People would come up to me and I was like, oh, thank you. And I didn't truly understood what it mean. I felt like a kid myself. And now that I'm older, I'm understanding more, and I can really like bring it in and take the moment, give them advice now, and just really help them out.
What advice do you give them?
Just to keep working, follow their dreams. Don't listen to what anybody else says. Just do what you have to do.
Anything else? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll start with Happy Girls and Women in Sports Day. Huge day for just women and girls all over the world. And just want to say thank you to all the women and girls that paved the way before us. So little things like Title IX, or big things like Title IX, and we wouldn't have so many opportunities. We wouldn't have facilities. We wouldn't have a lot of opportunities. And it amazes me when I'm at different events and women talk about how they played in the skirt, or they played and they can only dribble twice, or played half court, and you don't realize how hard it was just like 20, 30, 40 years ago. And we just have so many opportunities. I look at facilities we have today. We didn't have that when I was a player. We had a combined locker room with community showers, and it was bad. And now I see what we have here and just all the opportunities we have, and it's pretty amazing. So women and girls are lucky today.
How much do you talk to your players about being like role models for younger girls?
A lot. I don't really have to talk a ton about it because we just do that. I think I role model what it's supposed to look like, and they do that because I take a lot of pride in that. I think it's an honor to be a role model. And if you watch Sam after games, she's always playing with, a little girl or taking pictures. So they go above and beyond. It's something they love. And that's a part of the culture I talk about, and those are the kind of kids I recruit. If you don't like doing that stuff, this probably isn't the right program because we're going to do a lot of community stuff. So we serve for sure, and our girls love doing it.
So you got Oregon this week. I mean, you said the other day that you have nothing to lose. So how does it kind of affect how your team plays?
I think very similar to kind of how USC played here. USC could have laid down because they played at played at Arizona State, triple overtime. They could have came in here and tanked it and said, "Oh, we're tired," but they fought and they could have beat us. So I think for us, there is nothing to lose. No one expects us to go to Oregon and win. No one expects us to go to Oregon State and win on their home court. So we have nothing to lose. There's no pressure. You play loose, and I think it's really easy to play well when you're loose. But I really believe that our team feels like we can beat anybody. So, there's just no pressure. We just do the best we can, and we go for it.
What do you see as the keys to those games?
Starting off strong, physical, being able to make shots, because I think they're going to play us a lot of zone, defending their pick and roll action, which is very hard. Sabrina and Ruthie in a pick and roll is it's like Lauren Jackson and Sue Bird in a pick and roll almost. But just being able to just control the tempo defensively, be great on the boards. I think we have to play really, really good post defense. And Sabrina on balls is very hard to guard, so just have to really have really good pick and roll defense.
Your team always believes, and they believe that they can beat anybody, any team that they play on any given day. What does a win like UCLA, by how much you beat them, how it played out, what does that do for them that helps them through the rest of the season?
Well, it lets you know that you can play with anybody because, they were number 8 in the country, and we beat them pretty good. So I think it's just a confidence thing at home, and I think the mentality changes because you feel like, wow, we can beat a top team, and just knowing you can do that in the manner that we did it. So I think it's the mentality and confidence. And we know that we didn't play our best game at home against Oregon. They are playing better basketball now, but we feel like we didn't play great basketball. Our second quarter was rough. At one of those games, Erie had 5 points going into the third quarter. So we know we can play better. We know we are playing better. I always say it's good that we didn't peak before. I think we'll peak at the right time. But we also recognize that Oregon is playing better. So it's not going to be an easy road win. But to go there and get a win on the road would be huge for us.
There's obviously still a lot more time left in the season, but an early projection has you guys hosting the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament. What do you make of that?
I think it's just great to see that, but you can't really get caught up in those things because there is a long time to go. We still have a lot of basketball, so it's a great thing for the program. It's a great honor if we ended today, but unfortunately we're not ending today. So I think for us it's just one game at a time. Now we got to focus on Oregon, then Oregon State, and then we have a good chance to be successful in the backstretch, the end of the Pac-12. So for us, just taking care of business one game at a time, but recognizing we have to get better. We have to improve on a lot of stuff to be in this position, to actually be in that position at the end of the season. So, but I think it's good recognition for the program. We're getting a lot of national recognition that this program has not had since 1998, since I played. So it's an honor, but there is a lot of work, and I think that you understand. I was a player, so I understand that once the expectations are high, also people are gunning for you. That's a different situation than we've ever been in. We've always kind of had the gun for everybody else, but now being ranked, people will gun for us. So, you just have to bring your A game every game.
Some of the struggles against the Oregon schools last time came late in the game, and you
Yeah.
said they just had a lot more experience. Do you think you guys have grown since then in that aspect?
I for sure, I know we've grown, but so have they. They're playing better basketball than they were a month ago. But I think that we know we can play with them. I think if we fix a couple of things, we know we'll give ourselves a chance. But also, I do recognize statistically, they score 10 more points a game at home. They shoot the ball better. So we know that, just kind of like we do at home. So we have to play good basketball. We'd have to play a great road game to beat them. And we know that, but I think that our team believes that we can do that. So I think just the mentality, knowing that, in the past we would go into those games like, oh gosh, hope we don't get killed. But now we don't approach games like that. We're going like, hey, we can get a steal, we can get a sweep, we can steal a game on the road. So I think it's just a different level of confidence.
How do you keep your team sort of motivated and going in the right direction in this part of the season, as you kind of seem to be a coach who has them peak at the right time of the season? How do you keep that going? What do you do, in practice, day in and day out, to keep their focus and keep getting better and better and better?
So we don't talk about the big picture. We don't talk about the rankings. We don't talk about that top 16. We talk about where we are now and what we need to get better at this week. So we'll focus daily on the emphasis for the day. We'll focus weekly on what we need to get better at this week in order to go into the Oregon schools and be successful. So I think you just narrow their focus and you focus on the little things. And there are a lot of things we have to get better at. So, one thing we've focused on is rebounding. We've gotten better, but we need to fix some pick and roll things a little bit better we're going to guard a lot of it against Oregon, so be better at that. We have confidence on the road because I think we started off pretty strong on the road. So just one game at a time, one practice at a time. Don't look ahead. We're not thinking about Oregon State. We're thinking about Oregon. And then I think things take care of themselves. And that's kind of how we've been the whole year. So we just don't change anything. And what we've been doing is working for us, and we're happy with where we are right now.
Mike Andrea mentioned yesterday that a lot of you guys talk to each other a lot and have a pretty good relationship. Do you often talk to some of the other coaches here?
Yeah, for sure. He's one person that I do look up to. I follow what he does, and I did talk to him before the season. And some things I got input from him, and I implemented a couple things, and they were successful. I would be crazy if I didn't look down the hall and talk to someone like him. He's one of the best coaches there is in the world. And he's like a legend he's like the Gino Auriemma for softball. I mean, he's been to multiple World Series and won championship, the Olympic coach. Like, I will never have as many wins as him. But just to learn a couple things from him, and it's an honor for me. And like, it would be bad if I didn't do that. And the one thing I implemented from him was something that was really effective in the off season and in our preseason. And so I was happy I did it. So I'll be calling him next year and getting some more input. But also I think just the process of building a culture and what it takes to win and what it takes to sustain the success. I learned a lot of that from him. I think I had like a 2 or 3 hour podcast with him. So a lot of it was for me. I was doing the podcast, but I was asking questions I wanted to know. But he's incredible. He was here when I was a player. I have so much respect for him. I watch him. And I love being in the same building as him. If I could be half of as great as he is, one day I'd be happy.
What do you think binds you guys together? Is that a common thing to be at a program where all the coaches of different sports talk to each other?
Yeah, I think, this is like a family here. There's so much longevity here. There's a lot of administrators and coaches that have been here for a long time. You look at Coach Harvey, Coach Candrea, Coach Rubio. I mean, they're the longest tenures in our conference, and they're very successful coaches. So I think there's just a level of confidence from those coaches. There isn't a competitiveness because they've already achieved all the stuff I plan to achieve one day, and I think we all support each other. He'll text me after big games, or he'll come to the games with his team, and Coach Rubio does that, Coach Candrea, Coach Iannella. We all support each other, and I think that's what it's about, because we celebrate each other's success. Like, I want football to do great. I want men's basketball to win championships. It's better for our department. We're all better if individually we're better. So I'm a big fan. And to have great coaches down the hall like Sean Miller, that coaches basketball. I can call him at any time, ask him questions. We'll text each other after big games. So that's the kind of support you need because it's hard. Winning's hard, and people don't realize, unless you're a coach, you don't understand what it takes to win. It's really easy looking outside and say, oh, you have all these great players, you should win. Well, you don't know what goes on behind the scenes. So winning is hard, and that's why people don't win. So I like to learn stuff from Coach Miller, from Coach Candrea. If I learn one thing from each of them, I'm a better coach. So for me, it's just an honor. Hope I answered your question. Did I? Okay. I kind of forgot what the question was.
Anything else for Coach? All right.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.